Welcome to a very special episode of Life in China. Today I'm diving into the deep waters of mixed cultures and mixed families, a space where East meets West in the most personal way. In this video we sit down with Louis and Lychee, a British-Chinese couple raising their daughter Remi here in China. Through their story we explore what life really looks like when two cultures share the same home, the beautiful moments, the cultural misunderstandings, the challenges they face, and the unexpected advantages that come from living between two worlds. If you've ever wondered what's it like to build a family across cultures, especially when one partner is Chinese and the other is a foreigner living in China, this episode is for you. How did you two meet, and what was your first impression of each other?
I was teaching adults in EF at the time, training center, and Lychee was teaching kids in EF Kids. One of my students, an adult, turned out to be one of Lychee's colleagues. So she comes up to me one day and just says, I've got a friend who's doing a course and she needs to teach an adult Chinese to help her pass it. Would you be interested? And at the time, I was in earnest trying to learn Chinese, so I said yes. And it was Lychee. So we had a few lessons, coffee shops before work, etc. And then we ended up taking a hike up Zhejingshan. And we were halfway up the mountain, and I'm like, now I know this is a date, but I just want to say, I don't want to be exclusive. This may be a date, but that's it. And she's like, no, this wasn't a date. What are you talking about? And then time went on a few months, and we were on another sort of trip thing, and because in my head I didn't want to rush things too much, so I say to her, look, I know we're obviously a couple now, but I just want to take things slow. And she's like, what, we're a couple now? So basically every time I was worried that things were moving too fast, she didn't even think it was, and I ended up being the one speeding the process up. She had no idea it was a date. She had no idea we were boyfriend and girlfriend until I mentioned it in my efforts to try and slow things down. So I think it was kind of miscommunication from the very beginning.
Yes. Yes. I think at the beginning, we are just friends because I wanted to pass my course. My friend, colleague, introduced me and also pushed me, said, oh, you can date him. He's very romantic and blah blah. I'm a little bit introvert. Even I want to slow everything down, get know someone, and from beginning as a friend.
But it just sort of ran away from us, didn't it?
You push it very quickly, even you don't want it. Yeah.
After getting married, were there any cultural habits that were difficult to accept or understand?
In China, we like a reunion. We like a meeting together and sit together, chatting together. But for Louis, with friends it's okay, but with my family it's kind of difficult for him. Yeah.
I think it's quite normal in China for things to be done together. You see that out and about, people don't like to be alone. She's right, I do find it difficult spending time with her family, not because I don't like them, I think they're great. And when I say time, I should qualify that with days and days. An afternoon's fine, but spring festival.
Short time is okay, long time is a bit too much.
Yeah, and it doesn't matter who it is. It could be you or my parents. It's not about her parents, it's about being in a small room with the same people for 4 or 5 days. And I know some people that have to do it for longer as well. I've sort of put my foot down on that, and that's another one actually, that's another culture. So I put my foot down on that and said, I can do 2 or 3 days and that's it. And then in the recent years, I don't even go. I owe them, I think I owe them one. But they're all in Nanjing now anyway, so we do see each other in a much more sort of healthy capacity. It's not all or nothing.
Sometimes you get used to speak Chinese and people talking in Chinese, but when talk with him, suddenly he talked to me, I feel very difficult to concentrate. I don't know. So sometimes I ask him to repeat again, or like, oh, sorry, I didn't hear. He got really angry. He said, I'm not going to say it. If you miss it, you miss it. And then he just said, okay, maybe the conversation is over then.
What I know about Chinese women is that they have very peculiar habits of dealing with pregnancy in China. For example, not taking a shower after giving birth for several days or something like that. Is it true? Like, do you follow this, and how does Louis react to that?
I kind of follow it, but not very strict. I will take shower because I didn't feel comfortable. But like I will maybe not very frequently, not like before every day. Maybe I will take every 3 days. Like then I will take a shower. So, but for him it's really like difficult to accept. And also after birth, I went to like the 月子, like you know, like the people look after you and take care of you. You only need to like rest. Maybe even like they will have ayi look after the baby, and like you just need to be healthy. Like for him, it's a totally waste a lot of money. You know, in China, like it's always the parents involved a lot since my childhood, like the whole way, like they make a lot of decisions for you.
For you.
Yeah. So I'm also like, you know, kind of the girl that always listen to the parents.
Yeah, it's only a little like S-turn, and then we go back on track. Another swamp. They got ducks.
What do you like most about your cultural backgrounds?
One time we were watching something like a sad movie years ago, and I asked you afterwards, oh, what would you do if I died? And you just looked at me and took half a beat and just went, I'd move on. Like so practical, and I'm sure you would. What I like about the difference in cultural backgrounds is that Lychee doesn't always know what is acceptable behavior. For me, I think like I can get away with more than I normally would if I was just like married to an English woman. She'd call me out for stuff like, that's not okay. People don't do that. Because she's not necessarily like familiar with the conventions, the social mores of the UK. I'm both in China but not completely in China. You know, I'm an expat in China, so I sort of walk the line. And but I do like the Chinese are very practical people, and what I like about you is you don't beat around the bush. You know, you sort of get straight to the point.
Match together with your dress. How many Elsa dresses do you have?
Does being from two cultures ever create misunderstandings or arguments at home?
As I mentioned before, one is the family things, like maybe like Louis will think like my parents get involved too much. He always question things. But for us, you know, like the whole culture, we've been like, even in the school, we listen to the teachers, the students, we listen to the parents. In our mindset, we say, oh, they told me it's just, this is the rules, it's this way, we accept it. But for him, he always, why like this, why this one? Always critical. It can be a good thing because you always question things. But rules is rules in China.
Then, like her family, put food on the floor. Food is like vegetables or meats or whatever. It's just, they're just on the floor.
Yeah,
and like, don't put food on the floor, and you leave cupboard doors open randomly. Just there's cupboard doors open all the time. Like, close the cupboard doors.
For you, I think like the British, the people, their drinking culture, like just too much. When they start drinking, it's never. Like maybe for Louis, never stop.
It's cold out, right? But then it's cold, but you have the windows open.
Oh yes, that's another thing in China.
Because you have to, because everything needs the sunlight.
For me, like it's cold, but every time you need to because after the whole night, like you breathe and everything is always in the room. It has the like smell. So you need to leave the window open, let the air flow, like fresh air. You want the room have fresh air during the daytime because we are not in the room. So we need to let the air out.
But it's one extreme to the other,
This is in my hand.
to an extent.
Yeah, like that is. But for you, it's like this will be same air in this stuck in the same room. It's always very smelly. I don't like it.
If you're enjoying this episode, don't forget to like this video and follow for more stories about life in China. As a mixed couple living in China, what's the biggest advantage and the biggest challenge?
For what people say, like definitely we have really kind of beautiful baby. Like this, like and draw a lot of attention.
Do you like it or you don't like it?
Not really.
So that's a challenge then.
Yeah, that challenge you have to cope with a lot of tension. Sometimes just want to be kind of like
You want to be low profile.
yeah, low profile, like low key.
Remi, I have a present for you.
Yeah, wow. So
Do you know what is it?
pretty. It's Russia traditional like the.
Yeah, it's a doll. Yeah. But it's not just an ordinary doll. Yeah, there is another doll inside this one.
Russian nesting doll.
Yeah.
Nasty.
What's the other name?
Take this one. Do you think there's another doll inside this one? Open it. Ah! One more.
Another one.
How do you raise Remi with two cultural identities?
It's not as difficult as it might seem upon first inspection because we're at a bilingual school. We're in China, Chinese parents. Early on we decided speak English at home as much as possible. Her Chinese is stronger, but we want to, as best we can, keep the English language strong as well. And aside from that, I mean, that's about it. It's, when you're out and about, they always call her a foreigner and they stare at her because she's got blonde hair. Which starting to frustrate her a bit sometimes. But then, as you've seen, she insists on dressing like Elsa all the time as well. So the other day, I was like, look, if you don't want to draw attention to yourself, maybe don't wear a princess's dress all the time. But yeah, as for us, make sure she's bilingual. And now that she's old enough, she's a little person as opposed to a baby. It's just like a really fun team dynamic, like we sort of bounce off of each other and it's quite an organically developing process. But as long as she speaks two languages competently, I think that's basically it.
Yeah, I think like it's quite good like when she grew up like first in Shanghai because we in our community have a lot of mixed babies for her, so she get used to that dynamic like like the dad is the mom like a Chinese dad foreigner, so like this, so it's not very kind of strange for her, like it's quite common for her. She think, like the family just like that because in Shanghai, in our community, even like the friends is all mixed baby together. They always play together. So like she didn't feel a lot difference. Even people ask her, she feel it's so comfortable for her to say, I'm mixed.
Can you do the impression of her doing an impression of me speaking Chinese?
She will say Chinese, say, 把那个打开, like the foreigner speak Chinese that way. 哎
This nigga fairy.
Fairy, you go to find it, okay? I think it's just over there, behind on the table.
Do you ever disagree about parenting style because of cultural differences?
That's why we moved to Shanghai, because Louis worried about my parents will get involved too much. Because I study education, I know how important the parents being with the kids. I'm okay, but I still need my parents' support. You don't want to look after the baby 24 hours, that get you crazy. Maybe I can see Louis' point is good. Like we at the first 3 years, I totally be with Remi, so she's really confident. I can see the success and also the point, but like I still a little bit like think it's really tiring.
I didn't want other people to raise our child. regardless of who they are. And I know that happens a lot in China, and I know that it's often unavoidable, but sometimes it isn't. Sometimes the parents can and they just don't because it's the convention. The worst thing was that it was the first month of my daughter's life, and I was the fifth person in a hierarchy of rotating people in her life. You know, it was Lychee, it was the mum, it was the dad, it was the nurse, and then it was me. So it, you know, I really do think that was it felt horrible for me actually. You know, I'd come back and I couldn't get a look in. I kind of lost my mind in that month. I mean, I was working with you at the time. I fell off the rails a little bit. I think I would have anyway because I was having a kid. But I was just going back every day, and I'm like, I'm not wanted here. So I think it's a pretty special ride to work because if you go by the main road, it takes longer, and it's not nice. You know, it's like congested, busy.
Aw, thank you, Remi. Okay.
What language do you guys use at home, and how will Remi grow up linguistically?
She's obviously going to be bilingual, English, Chinese. Her Chinese is stronger, but not by much. Like she's perfectly fluent in English and can communicate almost as well as a 3-year-old would in the UK speaking English, I think. But her default revert is Chinese. Yeah. We have talked about Spanish as well, because if you can speak English, which is the most widely spoken language in the world, Chinese, which is the second most widely spoken, and then Spanish, I'm not sure which is 2 and 3, but those top 3, you can basically communicate to 90% of the world. Plans for the future, you know, midterm, we're thinking about moving to Spain, maybe when she gets to middle school, high school, because we don't want her to suffer the stresses of the Gaokao. Spain would be a really good option, I think. So if she can, and we would have to learn Spanish as well, so get her on it a bit earlier on, but we'd also have to learn it. But anyway, that's a long way down the line. But yeah, Chinese, English, and a bit of Spanish would be great.
Okay, and check that one too. Maybe there is still another one inside. Yes! The very tiny one. Okay, so how many dolls in total now?
How many?
Let's see.
Let's see. Let's count together, okay? Hold this small one.
You mentioned before that you want to move to Spain when Remi gets to the age of middle school. Do you have plans to come back to China after Remi finishes her education?
We can think about in the middle, like maybe we talk about Hong Kong or something.
Yeah.
It just like she can be in the environment, like get away from the Gaokao, the exam, like the how to say, like the college entrance exam. Yeah, and also I can close to my parents. I can also visit my parents when they're getting old.
Once we leave, you know, I would say I'd probably be around 50, 左右, you know, 大概, when we leave. I can only work in China till I'm 60 because of the visa requirements. So we want to get all our ducks in a row, is that the saying? And be financially independent when we do leave, so we don't have to worry too much about what we do afterwards for income. And so no, I don't think I will live in China again, but I do think we will be visiting China frequently because she has family here. I would like to come back to China. Remi obviously has family here, so we will be coming back to China. Just I don't think I'll be working or living.
Thank you so much for watching the story of Louis, Lychee and little Remi. I hope you found their journey as honest and heartwarming as I did. I'd love to hear your thoughts, what surprised you, what resonated with you, and what topics you'd like to see next. Feel free to share your ideas in the comments below. And here's a little teaser. I'm already working on another interview with a different mixed couple. This time she is the foreigner and he is the Chinese citizen. That episode is coming soon. If you enjoyed this one, please don't forget to like, subscribe and follow for more stories about life in China. Thank you for watching.